Hello, everyone. Woo.
Hello.
Hello, we're back. Sorry, I'm in a different room again. This time I'm in a bedroom, sat on a bed. Of course I'm sat on a bed. I'm out of my office again, but I've been chucked. Yes, we're both. Oh, excuse me. I've been chucked out of the usual living areas because there's kids about and family members visiting. So I hope you can hear me. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us okay. Right. Angela's here. Hello, Angela Holland. Good to see you. Annie's here. Annie Hogan. Hi, everyone. Kelly Moore's here. Hi, all. I'm working, but luckily able to listen in the background. Marvellous. Morning, everyone, says Vicky.
G'day.
Pia's here. Hi, all. Teresa's here. Good evening from another hot day in Sweden. Are you having a laugh? Has Sweden sucked all the sunshine out of Europe? Because that's not fair. Because we are in Shittiesville. Rainyville. It's horrible. It's flipping horrible. Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. And Blake. Hello. How's Max getting on? I hope he's getting on okay.
I meant to say to you, I've got a picture of his abscess, if Anne doesn't mind me showing it. And I've got a picture of him having a play with his buddies. I got a little video.
Oh, lovely. That's right up our street. Thank you very much. We want that. Great post about tracks, Sarah. Oh, I haven't properly read that yet, but I saw it got quite a lot of attention.
I saw the first when it was first posted, but I haven't been able to see what's been said after yet. So good job, Sarah.
Yeah, good job. Susie's here. Hi from a sunnyish Wales again.
Hi,
see,
Susie.
that's because Therese has sucked out all the sunshine out of Europe. Melanie's here trying to hide at work so I can listen to the live today. So Melanie's in Pennsylvania, I think. Aston's here from South Africa. Hi, Aston. Deb's here. Evening, everyone. Tracy Gray. Where do we find out if an HMB Pro covers our area? Well, we will put up. I've been holding back on putting up our map for our second years because for the first half of being in the second year, it's all a bit rabbit in the headlights because they're taking on clients. And what I didn't want to happen is that they got inundated. But it is now getting to the point where some of them are getting quite near the end now, so they can take on more. I was just being a protective mama. I've been protective over my little fledglings. But yeah, we will be putting up the map soon.
Or just message one of us. And
or just ask in the group or message.
Yeah, or message one of us. That's fine.
That's right.
Hello from Virginia. Area, I'll let you know.
Says Angela. Lisa Ruard is here. Hello, everyone. Marianne's here. Hello, fellow Phoenix Warriors. Angela Holland. Tracy, just pop a post in the group saying where you are. Yep, there you go. Janet's here. Hello. Hi, all. Vivian's here. Hello, everyone. I'm starving. Hope the live starts a bit late so that I can cook dinner. Did you manage?
Well, you had 10 minutes.
Sarah Woodvine. Hello, everybody. Have we had Sarah Woodvine before? I can't remember.
I think so.
Must have done.
I think so.
Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Evening from Scotland.
Julie.
Thank you for your post today. Very thought-provoking. And to be honest, I was getting trashed by everybody. I was getting ribbed in our private group. And I don't do it. So I don't think it was ever going to be a runner anyway. I just got carried away with it like everybody else. But it's fine. It's gone. Done. Finished. Heidi's here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Heidi. Gary Hinton's here. It won't be long, guys. Just setting up.
Oh, I was waiting for Lindsay.
You are. Judy's here. Hello from El Paso in Wisconsin. El Paso. Is that
Judy,
really?
I'll have a look at your message very shortly. I haven't forgotten you, lovey.
Is that a real place?
What, El Paso?
It can't be.
Yes, of course it is.
No, we just hear about
Wisconsin.
that in movies. El Paso.
I know, because I thought that when I first saw it, and I went and looked it up.
Doesn't seem real. Are you living in some kind of Disneyland sort of place? The Wild West. Am I completely way off? Good morning. 2 here in the morning, New Zealand.
Oh,
-2.
-2.
I was going to say it's not 2. Ooh, it's cold.
Oh, that's cold.
Dawn's here eating banana porridge. No.
Oh, no.
No,
Porridge, yes.
Georgia loves
Yes,
it.
I could have banana
No,
porridge.
not me, but Georgia loves that. Ooh,
Yeah, I
Ashes
could have
wouldn't be
banana
into that.
porridge.
My new Raspen boots arriving tomorrow. I now resemble a professional trimmer. Well, I will once I get used to the weight of my chaps. Apparently, Sarah's chaps are really heavy, or you're just not used to wearing them. Morning from Australia, says Jenny Cox. Have we heard from you, Jenny Cox, before? So many names, so many names.
Are you new?
So many great comments. Sandra's here from Czech. Hi, everyone. Jackie
Hi,
Kennedy.
Sandra.
Hello, everyone. Leah's here. Hi, everyone. Rebecca Bragg. Evening. Bit late, just in from riding in the Cornish sunshine. You got some sunshine. Not well. Good for you. But you and between you and Therese, you've zapped all the sunshine out of Europe. Vivian's here. Hi. On the road. Are you? Hope the signal keeps going. Great. Where are you going? Tell us where you are. Road trip. Judy says, absolutely a Disneyland for its beauty, but it really does exist in Wisconsin. Wow. We want to go to El Paso. I want to go to El Paso. Oh. Nikki's here. Sunny in Sussex. No way. I think you're just saying it now just to make us feel bad. Is it sunny in Salisbury, Gary?
Well, I wouldn't say it was sunny. I would say it was sunny intervals.
It's definitely not sunny intervals here. It's been grey all day. Right then, that's most of the hellos out of the way. Erin's here, checking in from Ohio, USA. Fabulous. Good to see you. Jan's here. Has it started? And I've just got a black screen, or are you all still waiting? No, it started. It started.
No, it started.
Started.
I don't know how to reply to Jan and say how it started.
You just have to write it in the comment. Just headed. Oh, I see. Headed out to the barn, California and sunny. I'm not jealous. This is not a jealous face. Sunny in Western Superwear, but windy. Oh, I think it's all to do with us. How's Polka, by the way, Kelly? Be interesting to know. Is it normal get swelling with an abscess? Yes, very. Yeah, and then when the abscess bursts and they get walking, it tends to subside. No, it's not really inflammation. It's edema, because the foot just goes to show, right? If they're not using their feet correctly, what happens is they what we call stock up, and that's a combination of things, but it's a lot to do with the lymph not draining properly, because the lymph itself hasn't got any ability to move itself. It relies on movement itself to be moved. So if the horse isn't moving and the blood isn't flowing properly, then the lymph can indeed stock up. So once he gets moving better and better, it should just generally subside. Don't worry too much about that. That's very common. Julie Bradbury, refresh, Jan. Oh, where's it all going? Things are happening. And it should go live. Jenny Cox is here. No, not new. Don't always get to say hi to feeding animals and listening with earpods. Oh, well, it's good to have you here, Jenny. Where are you from? It's lovely to have you here. Yeah. What's going on? Gary Constantine. Okay, I'm in. Yay, she's here. Brilliant. Oh, marvellous. Right, Kelly says she is fab, thank you. Questions something you said yesterday on whether I should be riding or not whilst the toes grow out. She's sound and very forward, though. Our boots arrived, and we did an 8.5-mile ride. Caution, just a little bit of caution there, because if she hasn't got her toe on the ground, she's relying very much on the sole. You've got boots now, so that'll be better, but you just have to exercise a little bit of caution there. If there is no toe wall, then that's an issue. But I think there is. No, I think her toe wall is in play, isn't it? It's just that she's got a long a stretch. Yeah. Play it by ear. See how you go. Play it by ear. Shauna says, Lydia, I'm here. Hi, everyone from Canada. Wonderful. Sarah says, my first live, I thought it was a new name. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Welcome, Sarah.
Where are you from? Tell us where you're from. Tell us a little bit about you. We all have to know about each other. It's just part of the thing we have to do. It's initiation ceremony. I will get. We don't stick heads down toilets or anything like that. Then I will get more pics for you soon. Fantastic.
It depends who
I'm
you are.
looking forward to that one then. Well, what are we going to talk about tonight? Have you got the abscess picture? Should we look at that first?
Let me find it.
He's going to go and find that.
It's here.
Oh, it's here. He's got it. Let's have a look at that then. Yeah, so abscesses often get misconstrued when a horse goes lame, because you can often see swelling in the lower part of the leg, and that swelling is usually just because it's just not walking. Oh, it's a good one. Blow it up. Oh, yeah. I see.
That went with a pop.
So it's hard to tell. Is that just fluid draining down those tracks? That's just yucky
looks
fluid.
like it.
That's not that's not cracks.
No, that's just fluid. It's just making the hoof wet. Well, that's how it looks like to me.
Don't touch it. Whatever you do, don't touch it, you'll stink for weeks.
Oh yes, you don't want to be
I
touching
remember a
that,
friend of mine once saying, I love the smell of abscesses. I've never met anybody.
Oh my God, no.
I know. I've never met anyone ever. And she said, I love the smell. They stink so bad. I love it. And I'm like, oh, you're weird. I don't think I want to be your friend anymore. Anne, have you got any pictures of underneath the foot? So we can see underneath. This was a hind foot, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can we see underneath?
I haven't got pictures from underneath, but what I can do is show you a little bit of a picture after the abscess had burst, a little video. Let me just find it a minute.
Sarah says, I'm from Cheshire, UK. Hey, love you guys. Obsessed with the YouTubes, but not made the lives until now. Wonderful to have you. Learning so much. All my horses barefoot, recently trimmed by Shannon. Oh,
yay!
That's cool. Boop, boop,
boop. Safe hands with the HMB Pro.
Did she bring Peanut? Did she bring our mascot?
We're
Dear
obsessed
Peanut.
with Peanut.
We're obsessed with Peanut.
Right, okay. Can you see this? Do I need to blow it up?
Yeah, that's cool. I tell you what, look at the little cob. He's like, I go for your legs. I get your legs. I throw my body at you. I bite your leg. No. See now, if that was us, we'd run a mile, wouldn't we? But that's just play, and they're just like, nah, get on. That's lovely.
Isn't that cool?
And the other little white cobby ones there is like, look at those playing
youngsters
again.
Messing about again.
Oh God, Anne, that just must make you feel amazing. Almost brings a tear to my eye. Only before it burst. Yeah, that was the swelling, I'm assuming. Question. Suggestions for our older horses ages 27 and 29 with good teeth, diet and management in place. They have lost some weight, especially in their top line. It's life, I'm afraid. That's life. They do lose top line. If their teeth are good and they're eating fine, I think we've just got to get to the point where we have to accept that as they get older, it's better for the body not to carry too much weight, because joints are getting tired, the backbone's getting tired, the hips are getting tired, and they don't want to be carrying too much belly weight or too much weight in their tissues, because that can cause more issues, can't it, as they get older. However, if they were to progressively lose weight, and it's a bit of a waiting game, really, you kind of go, oh, they've lost weight, they look completely different to last year, and you find yourself looking at photos, don't you, and comparing it. And if you think they're both really, really losing weight now, and they're not stopping, then that's something to be concerned about. And I'd go through the whole issue of having blood taken and all of that sort of stuff. But if they have just lost weight this year, and it could have been a combination of hay changing, maybe if you feed hay all the time, or the grass changing a little bit, not being quite as nutritious as it was before, they should stabilize out as they come through into the summer. They should stabilize. And if they don't, then again, you look into it. But if they do, but they just don't put the weight back on, don't be too concerned about it, because horses can be skinny or skinnier than what we're used to, and they're just absolutely fine. They're just absolutely fine. The main things to check are teeth and general observation. Are they still pottering around doing the same thing? Have they slowed down? Are they a bit tired? Do they look a bit depressed? Or do they look absolutely fine? Is their coat a little bit starey? Have they got lice? So lice is massive. And I cannot tell you, in my career, going out and seeing the many hundreds and hundreds of horses that I've seen, at this time of the year, I used to pick up lice on horses left, right, and centre. And owners barely could spot it. You have to stand there for a good 15 minutes if it's not obvious, and just chill out and just part the mane and wait. If they're loaded, you'll part the mane and it'll be everywhere and you'll see the eggs and everything. But if they're not loaded, they've just got the odd few that are enough to irritate them. And some horses really hate it. Some horses like, have I got parasites? Ooh, they couldn't care less. Other horses are, the slightest thing's wriggling around my body and I'm going to have to scratch like mad. And sometimes they don't even scratch. They just look poor. So parasites, that's one thing to look for. Check their poos. Are their poos going on okay? Have they got sloppy? I often have, I had a pony who would always get sloppy at certain times of the month, and that, or certain times of the year, and that was often to do with the moon cycles, believe it or not. And he would then get it was like purging, just in case there were things inside or worms inside. So you just go through a checklist of all the things, and then when you get to the end of that checklist and you're like, they're all right, they're still eating fine, they just look a bit thinner. It's just that time. It's just their time to get thinner. I hope that helps. I'm not sure if it did, but just be sensible about it and go through all the checklist of all the things, you know. Sarah says, oh, she didn't, but heard about Peanut. Oh, we've got some fantastic photos of Peanut. Happy boy again. He is. He's so happy. I told the farrier Squire had an abscess burst, and he said, no, it's just dirt from the frog, as if I would know the difference. Me and Mum had to get out stable. The smell was so bad, and you always retch worse when someone else does it in tandem. Yes, you do, don't you? You really do. Just sent a pic, Gary, of the hoof underneath before it burst. Can we have a look at that? Can we have a quick look at it?
I've got to find it first.
I'm very grainy.
Oh, yeah.
If I lift my hat up, look. It's not so much. It's not so dark on my head.
Oh, stop share. Present. Share screen.
There it comes. Let's have a look, see.
Let's see if I can blow it up. There we go. There you go.
So what we're looking at is, it was on the left quarter, wasn't it? Where it, left toe quarter. Is that right? Would I be right there?
Yes, yes.
So if you blow that, if you can
So
blow
it's on
that,
this bit.
yeah, you blow that area up. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Will it go anymore? I think that's about it.
Yeah, so we probably got some hole. You can just see it start. Yeah, there. So that's probably where it came from. It's covered in dirt at the moment.
Mm.
Was he shod on his hinds? I can't remember.
I think so.
So he's got to grow out all those holes yet, and they're massive entry points for.
I think the hinds came off before the fronts, though, if I remember rightly. But I honestly can't remember.
And he's got a crena marginalis soliaris there as well. Can you see a little notch? So that's very typical, and that means that they've got just a little notch at the tip of P3. I did a post today. Leave that up for a minute. I did a post today talking about the constants. Did you see? I'm going to start doing a series of posts about constants. And he's a big boy. We know that. He's a Suffolk punch. But look at the distance between the apex of the frog and the edge of his sole. It's really not much at all. He's probably got a little bit more frog on the apex there than he probably would do normally, but it's not very much, is it? And I put up a post today, and maybe Gary can go find it in a minute and we can have a little chat about it. But I put up a post today about, like I said, I'm going to do a series all about Mother Nature's constants, and how Gary and I are always telling you that people say to us, oh, you have to, all horses are individual and you have to treat each hoof differently. Well, whatever the hoof presents you with will depend on what, how much you trim the bars or the heels, because some might have more bars or heels or whatever, right? But the same thing happens. They've all still got the same constants. So they're very consistent. Some may have more flare than others. Some have more separation than others, but that's because of pathology, right? And because of hoof care issues. But they all are consistent. And what I want to point out here is that short distance between the actual end of his sole and the true apex of the frog, which is just under an inch usually from that point there to the edge of the sole. But it varies. It's approximate because of the crena, right? But you want to know something really wicked and really amazing? P3, from the horny part of the frog that you see at the top, P3 is approximately 1 centimetre forward from the apex of the frog, right? And he's a huge, great, big Suffolk punch. And if I was to show you the bottom of my little Minnie's foot, who's literally, she's just a little bit bigger than my dog, she also has exactly the same measurements. Wicked. Isn't that amazing? Centimetre in front of the frog. And just under an inch towards the edge of the sole. That's crazy, isn't it? And people always think it's a massive horse, it's going to have massive feet, and they leave huge feet on these horses. There's not a lot of room to muck around with when you're placing shoes on, for instance. So you can see right there, he's not got a massive amount of hoof wall because he hasn't. A lot of it probably is maybe chipped away. He will have eventually, he'll have more hoof wall. But it's still not ever going to be as wide as a shoe. And so what they do is they remove, and they set back, and that shoe ends up going over the sole of the frog. But on so many cases of horses. They are so separated, and yet they don't know. The sole and the apex of the frog look like it's 2 inches. It looks like it's 2 inches to the end. It's another reason why they get so obsessed with breakover. I just thought I'd point that out because that's a very good example right there. Thank you very much. You can unshare. I don't know if I should ask this, but I have a group session tomorrow from the end of the 10-day challenge. How do I find this?
I'll send you the link, Judy.
Oh, there you go. I'll send you the link. It should be in your email. You should have got given an email, and the link should be in there. Alternatively, if you go into the 10-day challenge and you actually click on that, you know, where you booked your appointment, the link should come up there too. So Gary will send you the link. Don't worry about it. Talking about the 10-day, I never got the certificate. I'm stuck on 80%. Not sure if Squatter's trim video went through to complete it. I'll check that tomorrow. I will check that tomorrow. I definitely will. I thought you could just move on now and collect your certificate, so I'll go and have a look at that. Late today, Angela Garberg says, bonsoir. What is required to access the Hoof Uncovered? Stuck on 90% on the 10-day challenge. Sometimes, unfortunately, you won't get 100% show through, and that is because we have day 11 for the assessment. Not everybody does that. And it's also to do with how much you watch in terms of the other videos as well. But if you've gone through it all, don't worry about it saying 90%. It doesn't really matter. But if you want,
as long as you get a certificate, that's what you're worried about. Yeah,
as long as you get your certificate. So I'll go take a look at that and make sure that the certificates are coming through, because it's certainly coming through for the 15-day, aren't they? It's just not the 10-day. And for the Hoof Uncovered, you get access to that. Are you a VIP, Angela? I don't know why I waited then for her to speak. Are you a VIP? Because if you are a VIP, if you're a VIP, then it should have been put into your course. If you're not a VIP, then you need to go to www.schoolhmi.com, and you'll find under courses, you'll find the Hoof Uncovered, and then you can purchase it through there, and then it will just get added to the courses that you already have. We are going to redo the Hoof Uncovered at some point. We're going to refilm it one day when we've got enough time. Like, when is that ever going to be? Meta, hi, a bit late. Hope I didn't miss anything. Oh, really? Just us chatting on. Just us chatting on. Ah, yes. So he had the hinds off 2 weeks before the fronts. So they're slightly ahead. Great. Good evening, everyone, says Dawn. Bit late. You'll be going to bed again in a minute, Dawn. You'll be going, I'm going to bed now. Night, night, everyone. You're so good at that. Now, I don't know whether you go to bed and you read for an hour or so or get on your phone, but I take my hat off to you, because I'm terrible at going to bed and getting good sleep. I'll stay up and I'll stay up and I'll stay up and I'll stay up, and then I'm knackered, and then I go to sleep, and then I have to get up early, and then I want to, and I'm trying to change that at the moment. I'm trying to give my body, love my body more and give it more sleep. That's what I'm trying to do.
Tomorrow, I'm going to be like a zombie. I am so busy tomorrow. I leave the house at 8 o'clock. I'll be back at 6. We've got a call at 6. I've got a tutorial at 7:15. I've got a live at 8. And I'm not telling you how many horses I'm doing during the day.
I have
I'm not telling you.
I've got
I've got a really busy day tomorrow.
Oh no, Gary. I've got 4 tutorials tomorrow, all
Yes,
back
I
to
saw
back
that.
almost. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to finish a lesson as well. Jade French. Hello, Jade. I've been praying about taking on 2 minis who have awful feet. One is inactive laminitis and has had his toes chopped. The other had slipper hooves at some point, and now they're awry and underon on the inside edges with obvious compaction. Awful trimming from that specific farrier on every animal whose hooves I've picked up, but I will be taking pics ASAP and posting them, God willing. I'll be taking them and undergoing the challenges. We will see. Now, is it because you've been told it's active laminitis because the poor thing can't walk, or is it just absolutely shocking hoof care? Or is it a combination of both? We've got 3 things going on. We have shocking hoof care. Shocking hoof, that's number 1. Shocking, which will make them terribly lame, but they're not sick inside. Shocking hoof care and laminitis, which will make them terribly lame and sick inside. And then you just have laminitis, where they haven't got shocking hoof care. Hoof care's okay, but they've just got laminitic because they've just tipped over the edge. What I have to tell you is that number 1 is number 1 of all of it. And it, like we said, it often gets liberally painted with the whole laminitis brush, but in fact, it's usually down to just shocking hoof care. Not to say that the lamina isn't inflamed because of it, but not necessarily happened due to diet management. So yeah, get pictures, and it sounds like you haven't got them at the moment. So that'd be very interesting. Document that, put the pictures up. Have you got x-rays? Those are the sorts of things that you need to know. I didn't get my 10-day certificate either. Oh, I better go and have a look then. That's all very well telling me now, isn't it? You should have told me ages ago. It's possibly because it's located, maybe it's because it's located after the 10-day assessment, and you have to have that put it. So what I'll do, 11 days. So what I'll do is I'll move it so that you can claim it. Let's hope that fixes it. Angela says not yet a VIP. Well, let me tell you, Angela, just as a little aside here, if you take the VIP package, you will get a 1-to-1 consultation with us for as long as it takes, and you also get the hoof uncovered, and you also get a bunch of merch as well. You get a hat, you get a t-shirt, and you get a
Phone case.
Phone case. So it's a better deal all around. Just saying, it's going to be a massively better deal. And you can find the links to that in the guidebook 101, I think, at the beginning of the 10-day challenge. Was wondering the other day why grass is bad, but it's okay for them to eat from hedgerows. Yeah, well, it's different. They're not the same plants, are they? You know, it's a lot to do with fiber. It's a lot to do with what they're picking. Are you saying grass in the hedgerows? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying, because grass that's eaten down in a paddock and eaten to 1 inch of its life, literally lower than 1 inch, that's problematic, because that grass is trying to grow and it's got plenty of phytohormones going on in there because it's trying to grow. We don't know all the exact mechanisms as to why it's so bad for horses. Everybody thinks it's all to do with the sugar. I'm not convinced. I think that is a big part of it. But I think it's also to do with other things that happen to a plant when it's very stressed and it's trying to grow all the time and it can't because it keeps getting eaten down. And then the grasses in the hedgerows tend to be longer. They tend to have been left alone. They tend to have got to more seed head size. So they get more fibrous, not packed full of non-structural carbohydrates. They're packed full of structural carbohydrates now. So that's far better because that's not going to spike insulin levels in the small intestine through the stomach lining, a small intestine lining, is going to go hopefully straight through to the hindgut where it can get fermented. So it's to do with how the gut responds to the different things that are in the plants and how mature the plant is and all of those sorts of things. Good question. Thanks. Yes, my assessment is at the end of June. Okay, brilliant, marvelous. I have a horsemanship clinic. That's probably why you haven't been able to claim it then, but I'll move it. I have a horsemanship clinic next month that is far away from home, and it's over a couple of days. Recently, I've tried my best to get my horses moving on a track and off grass as much as possible. However, my overnight options are either a stable or grass paddock for my horse, which would be the lesser of two evils. Grass and movement or stable with, yeah. Do you know, I've had that same problem. And I've done both. And I think yeah, it's a tricky one. It depends. I remember, I mean, I've done both. I've kept and I used to do a bit of endurance as well, and I used to keep Oscar in the stable. And frankly, he looked relieved to just go and chill out and get a hay net as much, and I just obviously would give him as much hay all night long. I mean, when I saw him in the morning, he was like, "Let me out of this thing," but we were going out. I felt better because he wasn't eating grass, but I felt bad because I'd kept him in. But like I said, he was quite happy to go in because he was quite tired from the day, and he had lots and lots of hay. However, for some horses, that's not ideal at all. For some horses, that would stress them out. So you have to work out whether your horses are capable or able to mentally cope with going in a stable to be chilled out overnight. Oscar didn't care. Well, he probably did, but he didn't appear to care. He's very chilled. Also, you have to work out whether your horse is very susceptible. Did you say they are? No. So you've got to also work out, are they lammy prone at the moment? Do you know? Also, what's the grass like? As in, how long is it? Is it terribly grazed down, so they're just going to eat lots of hay anyway? Or is it really, really long, so they're going to gorge themselves on that, but that's not so bad? Anyway, it's difficult. It's difficult. So I've done both, and I've also kept him out. But when I turned him out, where I went on the few occasions that I did, he never had a big area because they just keep them in quite small areas. So I guess there's no right answer to that, is what I'm trying to say. I think
it's pick your battles, isn't it? Do the one that's going to keep your horse the happiest. And if it's outside in a paddock, make sure he's got access to hay.
And in a stable, both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, hay, and more hay, whichever one you choose. But you know your horse better than anyone.
Yeah. Sarah says it's so worth it. That's the VIP she's talking about. For that one-to-one, so glad I chose that option. Dawn, wondering about the sugar content in plants in hedgerows. Right, okay, so not necessarily grasses then. You're just talking about any kind of plants. Well, they're just different plants. That you know, if you've got a plant which is a cow parsley, for instance, or cleavers, they're not going to sit and eat that over and over and over and over and over like they might do with grass. But the plant is different. It offers different things. It's not just about the sugars.
Yeah, it's about the medicinal side as well. They're choosing it for macronutrients and the medicine side of the plants as well. But then when you've also got, I think when I pick my cow parsley, it's mature. It's got flowers on it.
Yes.
It's grown. So when I pull that out or snap it off and I chuck it in the horse field, you know it's mature. So there's going to be little high sugar, little high sugar, the little sugar, sorry, little sugar in it. And the same when I pick cleavers, it's like 6 foot long and it's climbed up a fence and I'm pulling it out. I a little bit cautious on the young shoots when it's not fully developed. And I think with regards to hedgerows and like picking off leaves and flowers off of, say, gorse or blackthorn or hawthorn, again, the leaves are so tiny, they're more medicine than they are sugar. They're picking them for a different reason.
Yeah. I've never been bothered about it with hedges.
No.
We're not
I haven't
bothered, are
worried
we?
about hedges. No, never bothered with hedges. And the cow past is actually starting to die off in France. It's
Mm,
there, it's been done, and it's almost going over now.
yeah. Yeah. So we've got to catch it and chuck in as much as we possibly
Mm,
can. We
mm.
went round the other day and chucked loads of it round the other day, and all the horses were just, God, they just went wild for it. They loved it.
And it's quite
Absolutely loved it.
juicy as well. I think they like that. And and thistles. Oh, I
And
was
loads of
picking out
thistles.
this. I haven't had a lot of time to do gardening, so we were going around and thinking, okay, let's do a little bit of gardening, but it's for the horses. And some of these thistles were taller than me. That's sad, isn't it? Bloody 6 foot high. But the horses loved them.
Okay, Jade says, this is about the minis, a bit of everything, a bit of all of those things, diet management and trimming. They're now on a starvation diet. 1 flake each per day, fed between 2 meals. Had been free fed hay in a dirt paddock with 2 fully sized horses before the laminitis. In a stall together for 18-ish hours a day and turned out in an arena or tiny outdoor dirt paddock for a few hours a day. Very, very little of fibre movement. Okay. Do you know something? My take on that is that it's not laminitis that they've got. My take on that is that it is actually shocking hoof care, lack of movement, and terrible feet, causing P3 to be in an agonizing position. Don't starve them. Don't. I know that they're not yours, right? But they must not starve them. Starvation paddock is like the last thing you want to do to a horse. They must have continual movement and continual hay. Imagine you're feeling crap, your feet hurt, and you're being starved all at the same time. You don't have to starve equines very long at all before ulcers will pop up like that. They come up like that. You just can't starve an equine and not have consequences. It's really bad. Don't do it. Try and whoever it is that's got them at the moment, stop it. Check what's in the hay, but I wouldn't care at this stage. They need to have that hay. Get some photos of the feet. They must not be starved. Poor little things. They must be in hell, right? I mean, they've been kept in stables. Now they're going out and they're only allowed out for a bit of time. They're being starved. No, it's all the wrong way to go about rehabbing and healing anything, anybody. Certainly equines, though. The consequences to the gut and the ensuing issues that you're going to get there are just don't. It's old-fashioned. It's wrong. We know so much more now, and they need to eat.
I'm sure that we're preaching to the converted, but it's shocking, isn't it, that people can't realise that for animals to heal, they need to move. And also for animals to heal, they need the correct nutrition, not starving. It's got to be the correct nutrition. Starving them is not going to help.
No.
That's actually going to hinder.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that I don't think it's your. I hope you can take them, frankly, because that's terrible. That's just terrible.
Yeah, get pictures, send them in.
Yeah. Sarah says, thank you. I will see what the weekend brings and play by ear. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
good.
see what you got when you turn up. I mean, I've turned up to places and I've gone, I'll have the grass paddock, and I've turned up and gone, I'm not having the grass paddock, thanks, I'll have a stable. And then I've turned up and I've gone, I'll have a stable, and I go, oh, no, I quite like the grass paddock. So yeah, play it by ear, see how it goes. It's just one of those things, isn't it? What do you do? Meta says, you often talk about compaction at the heels. Do you also find compaction in the front around the frog? 2 of the horses I went to trim last weekend had completely flat hooves. Sole was hard, and both horses walked on the sole and frog knocked her. Yes. Every single part, the most common is just compaction. Well, not just, you get compaction at the heels. You've seen lots of Coke can feet where P3 is up in there somewhere, but it is in the wrong position. There are, in fact, Coke can feet where P3 is in actually not a bad position. It's in the wrong position because it's not been chopped off, and everything, it's just gone like that. And you got compaction everywhere. Then you have the ones where you choppity, and it goes like this, and you're compaction at the back. And then you have those flat feet that everybody calls flat, and because their bars, and this is often how it happens, because their bars aren't being addressed, they tend to, they accrete their bar material forward. This mixes with the sole, the foot, the ground gets hard. This starts to really compact into the foot, and before you know it, you've got a frog in there, but everything else is compacted. And that can lead to NPAs, so negative palmar angles, because they're not taking enough toe. And when you look at the x-rays, you can see a whacking load of foot at the front. It's all balance issues. It's all been brought about because of not being able to read the constants in the foot and all the balance issues that go with that. And the equine world just has no clue, it appears. They just have lost their way. I mean, I know that so many people would want to, more people would want to call me, even more people would want to call me out on that. But it's what we see everywhere. And it's what we see in the Phoenix group. Oh, incidentally, where's me? Oh, there he is. Little Phoenix is back now. They missed you. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, you can get compaction over the entire foot. I literally pulled and threw so many thistles on Monday. Yeah, absolutely love the thistles. Cool, thanks. Just worried about Ginger tucking into the hedges when I'm trying to get more weight off her. I wouldn't want to restrict her from doing that. There's fiber in there, and it's medicinal. Because yeah, they may be overweight, but they're looking for things to feed their body. Because when any person or animal is overweight, they've got inflammation in their body, because that extra weight causes inflammation, because it affects the metabolism. The weight itself gets involved with the endocrine system, and so we will have inflammation in our system. And I've always said, in the last 100 years, we've headed towards the era of itis, the era of inflammation. That's what we're in now. Everybody's inflamed with something. And it's no different for equines. And if she's feeding herself, she's probably trying to feed herself and make herself better as well by giving her some medicinal plants to ease that inflammation. Yeah. We just live in a big dry lot. What was that in response to? I can't remember. Here in New Zealand, so hard to get people to understand a yard is not enough movement, drives me nuts. It's not enough. It isn't. It's difficult for some that can't. But I have been to very, very many people who have their horses in a dry lot area, maybe around their barn, and then they have got fields, but they're frightened to put a track up and put their horse on it, because they're so scared that they've got to go on the grass initially. Well, you make your track narrow and you get cracking with it, and you just have to do it. It's just, you just have to go, well, next 2 weeks. But honestly, 2 days on a narrow track, they'll have pooed on it, peed on it, and it'll be gone, trashed, and then they won't eat it. Dawn says, I worked for a lady many years ago. Her horse had navicular problems and would get fat. She kept him in his stable all day without any food or company. He looked so sad, it broke my heart. Oh. Did you know the really sad thing, Dawn? That's still going on.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some things that would make the hair on the back of your neck curl. And just you saying that triggered me into thinking about a few things that I've seen as well, which I'd have no desire to remember. Do you know, through my time as all these years that I've done this job, there have been times when I feel, and I don't know whether this is one of the reasons that I have to work so hard to help animals, help horses, because there have been times in my career when I feel I have let horses down by not fighting for them. Not my clients, but horses in difficult, sad situations. And I would go past, I'd touch their nose and say, I'm sorry. It makes me want to cry. And because I couldn't do anything about it. And I'm a very much an empath, I feel that I feel for horses. I've always been like that. I feel for animals, full stop. I really do. I have that. And I can just see it in their eyes, and I feel bad. I've seen some horrible things, and sometimes I stepped in. Sometimes I definitely stepped in. There were times when I didn't. And I didn't step in because, well, various reasons. It would have been maybe I didn't want the fight. I was too tired for the fight. Not a good enough reason. Maybe I was a little bit fearful of the response that I was going to get, and maybe that would have affected other clients. Again, not a good enough reason. I should have always thought about the horse, and I regret those moments. They're not my fault. They weren't my fault. They were definitely not my fault, but I'll live with them for the rest of my life. I see them in my head. And I think that's one of the reasons I want to work so hard. I just can't let it go on. It's just wrong. Horses are being abused out there. I have seen so much abuse, and it is awful. What keeps you going on your day job, what keeps you going back, is the wonderful, wonderful changes you make to owners' lives and so many, many, many horses' lives. And what kept me going when I would be crying in the car driving home, which I did many times, what kept me going was going, if you stop, Lindsay, if you stop doing this, you don't do it anymore, think of all the ones that will suffer even more because of it. Think of all the horses that you can save or you can help. And we've saved hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of horses from terrible, what would have been terrible outcomes. But there were always those that I couldn't help. And I feel bad. You know, when you go onto a yard and you see something happening, or you see a horse stuck in a stable that's been in there for a long time, and you don't speak up, or you speak up feebly. And then sometimes you think, well, and I have spoken up at times, and they've not bloody listened anyway. So, but it made me feel a little bit better. I can't get them out of my head. I walk away and I go, I don't know what to do. It's awful. It's a tough horror. If you work in the equine industry and you've got your eyes open, you're awake, my God, you see some stuff.
And also, I think as well, because it's so ingrained in tradition, you can see it when you, like you say, you're awake, but because it's so ingrained in the way that we traditionally keep horses, people can't see that it's abuse. They can't. But that's no excuse. That's no excuse.
Yeah,
It's horrible. It's horrible.
it's hard. But we've got a gift.
Oh yeah.
We've got a gift to give to so many horses and owners. And I can't, for my, just because I don't want to see it anymore. I find it really hard. Every single day we are bombarded with images. Don't let that stop you, incidentally, if you think, oh, poor Lindsay or Gary, they're bombarded. No, just keep it coming. We cope. We're bombarded with images of all types, and it's really hard when you're speaking to somebody who's hundreds and thousands of miles away, or even just far enough away you can't get to them, and you just want to reach through the screen and just go, if I could just get in there and, you know, help you and give that horse the trim it needs right now. And then, you know, that's why we do what we do. I have to stop this. And all of that rubbish that went on over the weekend, you know, and calling us out and calling us a cult. Like I've said to you before, why don't they get out and just do YouTubes every single night? My you know, my partner's here with family tonight, and I had to say goodbye so I could come up here and talk to you guys, of which I love doing. So it's no great shakes, believe me when I say I love doing it. But why don't they do that? Why don't they take, you know, stop watching the TV for an evening, come and do a live every night? And why don't they create courses that half killed them while they were doing it, and went out and filmed everything and created stuff? And why don't they put all the time and effort into supporting? If what we were saying was wrong, you'd have found out by now. You'd have all found out by now, and we would have faded away years ago. No, the truth is we're not wrong. The truth is we are very right. And the big truth is there is so much abuse out there that nobody wants us to tell the world what's going on. And misguided misinformation, misguided hoof care, misfeasance, malfeasance, it's all out there. We won't stop, but it's hard. And when another one turns up and then another one, and just hearing, for instance, who was it that said it? Jade, you know, hearing that situation, I think it's kind of triggered me. It's awful. And again and again and over and over and over again. And I was talking to you know, one of our students today, and she's been trying to help a lady who's in a terrible mess with her horses, who's already had intervention, and the horses have surgical intervention, and the lady was in tears, crying down the phone. It's shocking. But let down left, right, and centre. You guys are going to change it. I tell you that now. I feel it. The phoenix is going to change the world. Look how many members we've got in that such short period of time, and it's not slowing up, not at all. It's still racing along, but it is hard. It makes it easier talking to you guys. I think it's therapy for us as well.
That's what I was saying to some of my clients. I was talking to them about some of the things that we'd seen, and we have our jokes as well. But then at the end of the session, I actually turned around to him and I said, "Thank you very much for listening." And he said, "What do you mean? Thank you very much. You just taught me so much." And I said, "No, this is my therapy. It means that I can talk about it and get it off my chest." And that's exactly what my clients are when we get onto a subject, and then I can show them what's happening in the world, whether it be good or bad, because it's a mixture of both. You want to show the bad stuff, but you want to see horses healing as well. There has to be that balance. And I said, no, but this is just as much for me as it is for you, because we see so much crap. This is part of me coping with it. This is part of you're part of my therapy. Thank you.
Yeah, and we make sure, don't we, Gary? Week 1, module 1, we always joke about it, but we say it to everybody, you know, week 1, module 1, you think, yeah, I'm gonna start learning about horses, and you don't. You're learning about what it's going to be like, and you're also learning about the fact that you've got a massive amount of support now. I'm so keen on that, because times are sad and hard sometimes, and you need that support. And frustrating too, doing this job. And for you guys as owners, you've all got friends. You'll all know people who have got horses. You'll all know somebody right now you can think of who you think, God, they just won't listen. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. But we're making waves. We're being heard. Oh, we're definitely being heard now. We just got to stay firm and keep thinking of the phoenix. That's what we've got to do. Sorry about that. Just felt I needed to say that. Where am I? Many have land but don't get it, but come here and array about my ponies and track, but still I keep trying. Lots of places erect, push, dry lots, and so it's fine. Bangs head. Yeah, we're changing. You need to show. I used to think Max liked being in his stable at night. He was just shut down. That's right. The guilt you feel never goes, but thank God there is a group like this, and I can learn to make my horse's life happy and comfortable. Just seeing him playing like that, I tell you now, there are thousands, hundreds and thousands of horses who never get a chance to do that ever in their lives. Let's not make this depressing though. Sorry about that. Lindsay, I see this too, and the people like us that stand up for horses, we get hell from others, but the abuser gets nothing. Very odd horse people. But I don't care now. I stand up as you do. Awesome. That's because we're together, right? We got to fight it. You do have to fight it. It is something that is you have to find inside you. And that's called programming. Yeah. My two are so happy together on their very rough grass track. So thank you for giving me the confidence to put them in together back in March. They play, sleep, and eat together. That is wonderful.
That's why we do it.
That
awesome.
I remember you saying it to me. I remember that conversation.
I remember you telling me.
I told Gary, I'm like, you're going to put them together. Why aren't they together? Well, it cost me a lot of money. And I'm like, Dawn.
Put them together.
Put them together. You might get hurt. Put them together. And I remember that when you said to me, I've done it. I've done it. Look at sending me pictures. So lovely. So lovely. Well done. Very brave. You did the right thing. Jan, I'm exactly the same. I also have whispered sorry to horses and then had them in my head and feelings of guilt. God.
I think we all have.
It must happen. It's terrible. Oh God, I've got potential students on this live. They'll be like, I'm not doing it. Give me my money back. I'm not going to do it anymore. The other flip side of it is it's crazy addictive, as you found out.
Oh, and oh my God,
crazy addictive.
So rewarding.
It's addictive because it's like magic. People think it's like magic because you just can fix so many. You can't fix them all. Let's not be naive to think we can fix them all because some have gone too far down that awful road. But you can fix hundreds more than you lose. And it's addictive. You just want the next one and the next one and the next one. And you just want to keep going on. Hard work, frustrating, terribly awful feeling sometimes, but it is addictive. I adopted a lame Shetland 7 years ago, badly repaired shoulder break, and I try to make sure he's moving day and night. I panic each time I find him hurting and no moving. My vet wanted to leave him in a stall. No way I'm doing that. I prefer to see him play and move around with his buddies, even if sometimes he's hurting. Oh, totally. Would we do that? I've got a funny little hip, and some days it hurts more than others. So on the days that it hurts, Gary should say to me, you know, stay in now. We don't want nobody wants to see you today. Go and sit in your toilet.
I go and drag her out and say, come on, get moving. You've got to go on a dog walk.
Yeah, and I'm quite happy to do that. And I'm quite happy to go, it's not that bad, but I might be a bit lame. So wrong, so wrong. We've got to get out of this flipping stable mentality. It really has got to stop. I'm just speaking to my friend who has had 2 bad lammy Shetlands. I've asked her to send some photos of their feet to see what they look like now. They are done by a normal older farrier. Well, she might be lucky if it's an older farrier, because actually sometimes they're not so bad. Vivian says, it's not only in the horse world, it's everywhere this way. Worse with small. Is it? Oh. So hard. Mind you, I've seen people being wrong uns to dogs, and I'll step in.
That's I have too.
That's caught me and got me into trouble a few times, I'll tell you. Kelly, they are so bad every year and spend most of their time in a stable. So go, oh. And you know what's so hard in some of these situations, because they've got so used to doing that, they're like, oh no, they're fine. No, they're really not fine. Oh yeah. No, well, we've always done it like that. Please understand they're not fine. Judy says, I have 4 critters here that have benefited from Lindsay and Gary. They were never stalled and have had ad-lib mixed hay, but the track system I have since installed is awesome. And taking them off bag feeds and supplements, wow, they move all the time. Thank you. Oh God, I can't. That's working so much better.
I need 2 rattles.
Oh dear. I have been told often, says Susan, that I am too sensitive and abnormal because I feel the suffering of animals, but I think those saying that are undersensitive and abnormal. Yeah, what's the opposite of that, right? Funny, isn't it? But there are lots of people in the world that don't feel it, that don't. I feel too much. I'm sure I do. But this is what keeps me going. It definitely.
How can empathy for another living being be a bad thing? Sorry, it isn't. What are they saying? How is empathy for any other living being a bad thing? Get a life.
Do you think it would be safe to put Squire in with the big horses in the field for an hour with a grazing model until I get next session of track finished for companionship, or do you think it's safe just to wait a few weeks? No. I'd give it a go. It's hard to tell, really, but give it a go. His feet are in a better position now. It's not going to be too long. Is this because you've got to open it up and go through? I would suggest track is a priority.
Priority 1.
Heidi says Heidi says working on a livery yard is so hard for me now. Oh, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I actually really struggle mentally. I have, however, tried to influence some with the Phoenix way. Who knows? They might join us, they might not, but I have to try it. You do, but you know you have to think of you too. You have to think of your mental state, and it's hard because you can't let go because you want to keep fighting. But sometimes you do have to walk away, and that, we say that to our students. Because it's very easy to just keep trying for these amazing animals that you know if you leave are going to get worse, that the owner will not do what you suggest, what you're telling them to do, because it is a tell, and you just have to walk away. It's heartbreaking. But you do have to think of number one, because there are more animals out there that maybe can help. Maybe Heidi, maybe we could get you trained up to become a pro. Okay, so I have to go to bed now. See you tomorrow evening. I'm going to do what you do, Dawn, because it's 10:20 here, which means it's 9:20 there. Is that right? So good.
Is Dawn in the UK, is she? I couldn't remember.
So. I think so.
Yeah, it's 9:20 in the UK.
When I think about this as a potential career, those are the parts that I wonder if I'd be strong enough to cope with. Aston. Yeah, don't let me put you off.
Yeah.
The ups are far more than the downs.
Yes.
They really are. Oh my God. I wouldn't do anything else. And
I think that if any of our students were to come on here, and we might actually do that one day, and say, would you like to ask our students a question? we'll say, oi, you're coming on a live tonight. I think there's only one that I've seen that's joined us tonight. So shh. I think all of them would turn around and say is, I felt the same at the beginning. Am I strong enough? But when you've gone through the training program and you have all of the answers, with all of those answers to all of those questions that you had, gives you a huge amounts of confidence. And then you've just got to learn how to deliver it. That's it. And then you can deliver some things to some people really quite aggressively and forthright, because you've read that person, and then others need nurturing a little bit more. I say it quite a lot to our students: to do this job, you've got to like animals and love people, because if you haven't got the people on board, it's hard. It's hard. But we all get into this because we love animals, don't we? But we can learn to love the people too. It's motivating them. It's motivating. It's motivating.
We are inspirational people. We are motivational people. That's our job, actually. More so, we go and we trim, and we say hi to the horses, and we give them a nice stroke, and we do that business. But the main part of our job is we are motivational, inspirational people. I will be your mentor, and I will be your tormentor.
I like that. I've not heard you say that one before. I like that. I'm going to nick that. But I have to say, everything that you learn on the course is teachable, because you are fantastic people. All you've got to do is come along with willing. That's it.
Open mind.
Open mind and be willing.
Leave the package at the door.
Yeah.
Leave it at the door. You don't need that, thanks. You're coming in
It's
here
not
without your baggage.
Soul searching, but what career doesn't? What career doesn't?
No, change is never easy. It shouldn't be easy. Change is hard, but it's a challenge, and that is what is self-development. Doing all of this and helping your horses and putting up tracks and making the best environment possible is all about self-development. It is. Yeah. That's what you're doing. Yeah. You are developing as a horse owner, and as a human being, you are developing. Look at you all coming here and supporting each other. All the time you're developing, all the time. It's fantastic. Jackie says, Tabara, the grey mare in Lanzarote, is working so much better today, thanks to Vanya and Gary. Oh, that's good to hear.
I'm so pleased to hear that, Jackie.
I'm very
pleased.
I am so pleased. Yeah, don't have a wobble. Well, have your wobble. Have your wobble, and then go. But if you don't do it, and you have that talent to get out and change things for people and horses, if you don't do it, how many more horses will suffer because you weren't able to do it. It's hard. You've got support. Aston, if you were with us, we'd support you, obviously, all the way, forever. You gave me the push I needed to put my Shetlands with my colts because I was worried about little lame Heather getting pushed around too much. She pulls the most cross faces at them. She makes me laugh how she puts the cobs in their place. Perfect. I knew she would. I knew she'd be there. She'd be like, get your come on. Lydia, it is addictive. It is actually so simple and cheaper to help horses. I am so fortunate to have my horses here on the farm with me, especially now I have come across this group. It's exciting. It's a journey. Anything that develops you as a person is thrilling. And it's the same for us. People always remark how calm my horses are. So, of course, here I go with the proper horsekeeping speech. Yep. Clydesdales only have a few weeks to go. Can't wait now to get going. Brilliant. That's going to be you guys in July. Thank you, Gary. That really hit home. Oh, bless. If I was younger and know what I know now, I would have become a hoof care professional instead of a riding coach. But you can do so much now. Thank you, Lindsay. You're welcome, my love. Right, we're coming to the end now. Yes, that's driving me now. All the people I can reach. Kathy cemented that for me, how important it is that I follow this through. Totally important. Right, my lovelies.
Doesn't that go to show as well that Kathy made that journey to go over to Tree? Is it Tree?
Yeah, I love Tree.
That's how you pronounce it.
And so.
See Lou. Lou hasn't even got onto the course yet.
Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah hasn't got onto the course yet, but Kathy's gone over to help all of those people on Tree. And it's this community that's growing and is supportive.
That's brilliant.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Fantastic.
I love it. It's therapy for us as much as it's therapy for you. We're growing.
Oh, it is. Very
all right, my darlings, we're going to be gone now because we've been an hour and 16 minutes and I must go. So it was lovely to have you here again tonight. Thanks for a good conversation and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Take care.